What's the worst birthday gift you ever got? Thought I was getting a bike for my 15th birthday, but my foster parents announced that they were sending me to a group home after living with them for 11 years. Devastation. This one breaks my heart. I'm so sorry, love. 11 years under king imaginable. One time I received an invite to a restaurant from my dad. The same year he offered my brother to pay for his trip to Japan. My brother and I worked for a farmer one summer, and he paid us with a used car. At the end of the next year, my brother graduated high school, so my parents paid me out for my half of the car, and that was his graduation gift. I gave them all a big discount compared to what it was worth. So like $500 for my share of a $2,500 car. 2 years later, and I needed $50 for some graduation fees. So I borrowed it from my mom until I could get to the bank. Before MO brother-in-law banking and ATMs everywhere. Later, when my mom is telling me they invited all their friends over for a graduation party, I asked if they had gotten a gift for me. Well, I gave you $50. I paid it back the next day, and she didn't blink. The graduation party was just my parents' friends, who said congratulations to me, but it wasn't really for me. A few years later, my little sister graduated. She got a car. They bought a used car for her, and our other little sister got the same when she graduated. My parents are mostly nice, and I never felt like they singled me out at birthdays or anything. Just my graduation seemed like I turned invisible. My own scarf. Yes, that's right. My mother went into my room, took my only scarf, wrapped it and gave it to me like it was a new scarf. Did you pretend to be surprised? Sorry that happened to you. You shouldn't have. Our complaint from two subordinates fighting over how to throw me a surprise birthday party. I've never worked in an office environment, but the stories I've heard of people being required to buy a cake for the whole office and to celebrate their birthday with their coworkers would be enough to keep me in blue collar work for life, were it not for the fact that I love being active and working with my hands and could never sit at a desk all day anyway. At the beginning of each year, my office would collect a $15 donation from each person for the purchase of cake and a card on each person's birthday throughout the year. I only worked there a little over a year, but I donated my $15 and did not get a cake on my birthday. It's not even like they forgot it was my birthday, as it was on the receptionist's calendar. I never asked about it because I felt weird. I just vowed to not ever donate to office collections anymore. I ended up quitting about 6 months later anyway. My Asian mom's gift was no extra human homework after school homework, so my birthday gift was that I didn't get extra homework from her. Human homework. Human is like extra schoolwork for smart people that your parents can sign you up for and just teaches you some more advanced subjects than what you are currently learning, or so I've heard from my friend that did human. It's basically school after school. I hope you like homework. A lint remover. I was 12. Amazing. Stomach flu and my first ever period at the same time. I think it was my 13th birthday. My grandma got me a hairbrush with a plastic horse head handle. The horse head was all chipped up and there was hair in the brush. That's not just bad, it's gross. My grandparents have been gifting me and my brother the same set of 3 vice grips for almost 10 years. Collectively we have 60 vice grips. I don't know if they bought a pallet of them or where they are coming from. Get a grip, grandma. I had a friend whose father was famous for doing Christmas shopping at the last minute. One year she complained that she went downstairs on Christmas morning and found, sticking out of her stocking, a spatula. Her birthday was a few days after telling that story, so myself and her friends all decided to get together and get her spatulas for her birthday as a gag gift. Well, when it was our birthday she retaliated, which led to a counter-offensive, and soon a new tradition was formed. And guys, I have so many spatulas now. Everything from dollar store cheap plastic to hand-carved spatulas, a golden spatula, and even a replica of the famous Malaysian fighting spatula link. I've got seasonal spatulas, as in, today it's time to pack away the Christmas spatulas and bring out the heart-shaped Valentine's Day ones. followed by the bunny-shaped Easter ones. We've also been passing around this clip link from the Weird Al Yankovic movie UHF. Spatula City. We sell spatulas. And that's all. One of those spatulas has to become a for mother-in-law heirloom now. A pair of homemade custom pajamas. Only problem was that they weren't made yet. It was just the fabric and a promise to make them for me. I had to give the fabric back, and I never got the pajamas. Holy cow, my parents do shit like this. It's so ducking weird. Their ultimate wackadoo move was to give my wife and I a few acres of their property. Nothing legal, just at our wedding they gave us a card that basically said have some land. When the dust settled I asked what they thought we would do with it. They said build a home. I said okay. Gonna need legal ownership for like building a house. They said sure, we will get right on that. Then they decide to sell out and retire and never mentioned our wedding gift again. If my mother had land, that sounds like something she would do. Something that requires no effort whatsoever. But it is something she believes is so selfless on her part before ultimately forgetting about it. As someone with the same kind of mom, I learned they don't forget. They ignore it and then gaslight you if you bring it up until you forget or give up. My mom would get me a carrot cake every year for my birthday. I hate carrot cake. Always have, but it was my dad's favorite, so I hate custard. My mother loves custard. Every year for my birthday she'd ask me the same question, what kind of cake I wanted. White with white frosting. Are you sure you don't want chocolate with a custard father-in-law ling? Yes, I'm sure. What did I get? Chocolate with custard father-in-law ling. From her favorite bakery. Oh, I thought you loved custard. Edit, this struck a nerve. Wow. Thanks for all the comments and even an award. I would invite people over, and when they noticed me not eating it, I would say, yeah, I wanted white cake with white frosting, but my mother just had to get her favorite cake. Don't worry, I'm used to it though. It happens every single time on my birthday. When I was 12, my uncle and his new girlfriend, who I had just met for the first time, bought me bras and a book about my changing body. Oh my god. That's legit horrific. LOL. How did your parents or other mother-in-law members react to that? Luckily, they put them in a gift bag, so I could see what was in it. When I pulled the tissue paper away, and I did not pull them out, I kinda turned to my mom, and was like, I don't think I can take this out. She took one look in the bag and let me move on. My parents took him aside later, and told him that, while the gift was well-meaning, it was more embarrassing than helpful. The girlfriend apologized to me. I don't think she knew what was in the bag until after. A friend once threw me a birthday party I wasn't invited to. I showed up at a local cafe to have a random acquaintance ask me if I was excited about my birthday party that night. When I asked what he was talking about, he directed me to a flyer on the bar with the friend's name, my name, and 4-5 other people's names being used to celebrate a joint Unicornomia Fuser 1 feet zodiac sign birthday party. I already had plans that night for dinner with a couple of people, but after dinner I stopped by the cafe. The bartender was the only person in the crowd there to acknowledge me or wish me a happy birthday for 20 minutes or so, until the organizer walked over and wished me a happy birthday. Hey Unicornomia Fuser 1. It's great to see you, she said. Happy birthday, gee. Thanks, I said. I hope you don't mind that I put your name on the flyer, she said. That's fine, I said, and put my drink down and walked out. Too long didn't read. A friend wanted to throw herself a birthday party, but didn't want to make it obvious that it was all for her. So she threw a party for multiple people, myself included, and didn't bother to invite them all. So throwing a party for 7 people's birthdays was the only way she could get anyone to show up for hers. Loser. My godfather sent me a birthday card each year which said he paid $100 to a bank account which I was supposed to get when 16-yo. He then got into alcohol, used all the money and died. This was confusing until the last sentence, when it hit tragic. An ex-boyfriend hyped up my birthday gift for days, so I was pumped. On my birthday, he presented me with a small, flat box. Inside was a passport. His passport. That's it. Just his passport. No tickets for a trip. No promises of a trip once we saved up together. He literally just gifted me his passport. I'm still baffled. Edit, since everyone is asking. I accepted the present graciously. It was a gift and that's the polite thing to do. I thought asking about plans for an international trip would be rude. Traveling is expensive. We ate dinner, went home, and the whole thing was pretty much forgotten about as far as I can remember. We broke up years later, and this event played no role in it. He's just a terrible gift giver. He wanted you to use it to open credit cards in his name without telling him. The only real explanation. My dad accidentally revealing that him and my mom were separating. He was on a bender and didn't realize he was texting me and not my mom. Happy 18th to me. My ex celebrated my first birthday that we were together by completely ignoring it altogether the day after going all out for her friend's birthday the day before. She offered me a leftover piece of the birthday cake she got for her friend, but still never said happy birthday. That should have been my signal to run, because it never got any better. Oh, you reminded me, oh my ex. Hugs, my dude. When I was 8 years old, I was growing sunflowers with my mom one summer. My aunt decided to get me some fertilizer for the flowers for my birthday. On my birthday, I unwrapped my present and saw what looked like a tub of vanilla ice cream. But when I opened it, there was literal horse shit. My grandparents were super low effort, low budget at every birthday. One year they got me a second-hand coloring book from a swap meet. It was almost completely colored in by what appeared to be a 3-year-old with a single green felt pen. Also, I was 18, and they thought it was a good gift because it was Disney related and I was going to college for animation and design. At that point, just don't get someone a gift, just say happy birthday. My own gift that I gave that person. My grandma once got me a see-through nightgown and was sad when I wouldn't go try it on in front of my whole mother-in-law. Why? We then learned she got matching ones for all the girls in the mother-in-law and just gave them to us through the year. Edit, I feel like I should add she is very religious. Like go to church 3 times a week religious. You have to tell us the story. Why did grandma think that was a good idea? I mean the part about trying a see-through nightgown in front of her mother-in-law. My grandma likes to get gifts from old stores. I don't think she ever opened the package to see that it was see-through, lol. Didn't look it in the package. A very obviously used candle. Who was it from? Those made me laugh for some reason and now I need some details on the shape, color, type, scent of candle. It was this deep red bagasse flower shaped candle that looked she bought from the 99-cent store. There wasn't a smell, but glitter all over it. It was from my best friend in high school. She didn't even wrap it. She pulled it out of her backpack and was like, here, happy birthday. School friend gifts are weird sometimes. In high school, one of my friends got me this little red horse statue for my birthday. Probably cheap as heck. I had no interest in the physical object itself, but I was really happy that he'd remembered my birthday and bothered to get me something. It didn't matter that I didn't care about horses. The fact that he'd gone to the effort of trying to find something I'd like, even if he didn't hit the mark, meant a lot to me. I thanked him and was in a great mood. He then laughed at me for being so happy about it and noted that he'd stolen it, but he stole it for you. I got a credit card for my 18th birthday and told not to use it because it wasn't active yet. When I landed my first real corporate job at 22, the company ran a credit report on me and found out I had $350K line opened. Turns out my father had tricked me into signing a co-mortgage and not credit card paperwork on my 18th birthday. I received debt on my 18th birthday. Edit, thanks for the kind words. I didn't pay a single cent. It did affect my credit score back then. That's why R flagged me. On a positive note, that was the first time that I can remember standing up to my father. I called him out in front of the mother-in-law and I threatened legal action. I also called the bank and informed them of the situation. It was all resolved less than a week later. Edit P2, since this exploded I will add some detail. When the hiring director told me about our findings, I didn't understand. I thought I was in trouble or something else. This happened about 20 years ago. Identity theft wasn't as common as it is today. He showed me the credit report printout. When I saw the bank's name I remembered that my dad had accounts with them, but didn't think anything of it. When I got home I called the bank and inquired about the account listed on the credit report, and that's when I found out 100%. I was angry, sad, etc. My older sis and my mom were at his house for dinner, and that's where I confronted him. The bank was somewhat helpful. An agent did call me every day to update me on what they were doing to remove me from all the paperwork. So, yeah. I'm a second child, but for whatever reason I no longer care to know my dad created an incredibly unhealthy relationship between him and I. Even as a child, nothing ever physical besides a few spankings. It was mostly emotional abuse. I'm careful to use the word abuse because so many more people have worse than I had. I still get teary-eyed while watching a scene involving a father figure like Lion King. But I'm aware there are people out there getting locked in closets by their parents. I have a blessed life today. I'm usually involved with some sort of volunteer work. Giving really helped heal some old wounds. Almost the same. When I was 20 my dad told about how I could check my credit annually for free, so I did, and discovered a ton of credit cards that had been opened in my name when I was 14 years old. Initially, I was naive and thought my identity was stolen by a stranger. A few years later, when I tried to cash out a trust account, I discovered that my mom had already done it. Identity theft clicked into place that day. Edit, thanks to Anonymous for my first award, and to everyone for commiserating. Moral of the story: check your credit. In America you are entitled to one free credit check a year. Also, many banks have ways to monitor your credit. Do it and, if necessary, take the time to fix it. Not me, but my friend's sister. He bought her a 6-pack of Slim Fast. Husband forgot my birthday. Took the day off when he remembered I was working from home. Went to buy something and took maybe 10 minutes tops in the store. Bought roses from the grocery store while he was there buying himself cigarettes. He came home with a DVD box, said he'd been dying to watch, and the new CD from a band I'd not only lost interest in, but had been saying I'd lost interest in for ages. Not that he let me listen to CDs anyway, since he hated my taste in music. Then he spent the rest of the day celebrating the birthday of his online friend, while I was working from home. They're married now. One year my husband got me a bag with stuff from the one store. Not even stuff I would want. Like a notebook and a coupon organizer and a few other things. Maybe 5 of junk. We had no money troubles that would prevent him from getting me a present. I used DVD of the Notebook after I explicitly told the person that I had no intention of watching it. Bonus, it was my stepmom who gave it to me from her and my dad's DVD collection. That was in our living room and I could have grabbed it any time to watch. Is there a sub for low effort gifts? Either the Clearly Are Gifted book about politics or the time I got food poisoning. This year my mother-in-law went through the effort of intricately wrapping a box of Ziploc bags for my birthday. For Christmas it was a box of trash bags. I'm so confused how I ended up as the guy who gets small boxes of bags as gifts. It almost feels offensive. A used pen that my grandma found in her purse on my 16th birthday. Edit, I've never gotten more than 50 upvotes on anything before. The response has blown me away. Thanks Redditors for helping turn the tables on a slightly upsetting memory. It's good to be able to have a laugh about it now.